excellent, my name is Chad from Game Review HQ, and today we're gonna give you our top 10 picks of some of the most popular MMORPGs in 2015. Kicking off our list is Dirty Bomb. Splash Damage hit rock bottom when they made Brink. Sure, it was a fun game, it was parkour, guns, melee, it was a fast-paced action shooting game. It was good, but its online version sucked. Now let me ask you this. Who thought it was a good idea to let them make an online action shooter? It's quite a terrible game. The game feels unfinished, has so many texture errors and graphic bugs. The gameplay feels rough. It feels fast, sure, but it's a bit twitchy kind of fast rather than a smooth kind of fast. In addition, this game is too dependent on RNG. It's bordering on scummy. It forces you to spend dollars on boosters to get gold credits that you gotta spend thousands of to get new classes and weapons which are bound to each other. There's no loadout option. It will literally force you to grind or pay to get the good stuff. Now, there must be a reason why it made it here in our top 10, and that's because it's a bit revolutionary for the time of its release. It's an online first-person shooter that is quite fast-paced. Awesome! It will be awesome, and it's gonna stay on our top 10 maybe until Call of Duty Online is released. Number 9 is Blade & Soul. After getting stuck in developer and publisher limbo for so many years, NCSoft is finally bringing this game out. Blade & Soul is a third-person action RPG that features nothing new really, aside from the fact that it's martial arts. It's a great looking game though, and it has 4 races with passives that benefit a certain character class. It's pretty standard stuff. What makes Blade & Soul shine is the story. I'm not gonna spoil too much about Blade & Soul cinematics, and definitely the story is something you're not gonna wanna skip. It's due for release on the West in early 2016. How early we've yet to know, but its Southeast Asian and Russian servers are now up. So check it out if you feel like playing an anime-based MMORPG. For number 8, we got Echo of Soul. Envious just released this game in the West a few months ago. This is yet another typical Korean RPG with gender-locked classes, meaning you could go Gamergate on me. And I don't really care. You can call sexism and gender stereotypes in this game, and the developers will only smile and shrug their shoulders. I mean, look at it. The healers and the support classes and the nuker classes are all female, while the tanks and the ones who wear heavy armor are the males. So, yeah, it's a bit of an issue there, but not really. It's a good standard MMORPG game with typical classes. It doesn't really feel new, but sometimes not new is not really a bad thing. It's a good MMORPG with focus on party dungeon raids. The game does hold your hand, so it's a good way to introduce newbies to MMORPGs. Echo of Soul is out, so if you feel like checking this out, go ahead.
3, 2, 1.
Next up, we got Triad Wars. Triad Wars is like Sleeping Dogs but in MMO form, maybe because it's created by United Front Games and is actually a prequel of Sleeping Dogs. It feels new, it looks cool, it's a really hardcore martial arts and parkour based game. The combat is actually something new and very tied in with Sleeping Dogs, so if you want a first-hand experience on the combat of this game, check out Sleeping Dogs 2. The resource grinding system is easy in this game and is quite similar to Harvest Moon or maybe Mighty Quest for epic loot, where you can either set up a farming area so you can get stuff from rackets, or you could raid other rackets that will reward you with resources. It's a unique game. It's got a lot of good elements on it that feels actually new. In addition, the money system is also unique. You can convert in-game money to money that you can use to purchase in cash shops, or you could just spend money on it if you don't feel like converting in-game money. Still, this is a cool option for players who don't really want to spend much on a game. As for the game's release, it's currently in closed beta but will be in full release before the year ends. Up next, we got Warhammer 40k The Eternal Crusade. In the grim darkness of future, there is only war. In the grim darkness of free-to-play games, there is Warhammer 40k Eternal Crusade. There are, however, reasons why this game made it into our top 10, and a whole lot more why it's down here at the bottom half. First of all, this is Space Marine Combat, third-person action shooter hack and slash, 500 versus 500 players. massive armies smashing against each other. It's all just really cool. It's basically the tabletop Warhammer 40k come to life and you could play it in your game. However, the massive downside of the game is that you only get to play as an orc boy when you're starting out. To actually get to play the game in other factions, you need to shell out I think $40 for the entire game. So you could play it for the experience, but if you want to get the full game, you're gonna have to pay for it. There is a special reason for this though. It's because the developers of the game didn't really want to get a publisher, because publishers want to edit the story and the lore that doesn't really stay faithful to the Warhammer 40k universe. This is why they are relying on people to get founders packs to buy all sorts of stuff to fund the game. Factions in the game are still quite limited to the Orcs and the Space Marines, but the developers are planning on releasing everything once the game is fully released. On the number 5 spot, we got EverQuest Next Landmark. This game is more of a transitioning game while we are waiting for EverQuest Next. However, this doesn't mean that Landmark cannot stand on its own. It is a sandbox game focused on exploration and resource gathering, but it will be a good way to explore the world of Norath while preparing for EverQuest Next. The game is highly polished with a lot to do, and it's quite an amazing addition to the whole sandbox genre with its graphics, procedurally generated world, and a long list of things to do. Well, this one is definitely a must-have. Even if you're not a fan of the Gatherer sandbox genre, this is still a good game to try, if only to pass the time while waiting for EverQuest Next. This game has been out for quite a while, but it has only experienced an international Steam release last April 2015. It's published by Neighbor Corporation, and so far they've taken this game to a whole new level. However, recent petitions for publisher changes and server shutdowns in certain regions threaten the game's existence. Nevertheless, Terra is still a good game sporting awesome graphics with an awesome storyline, and oh my god, that is just weird. That is weird. Why is everyone in this game either fully armored or half naked? Yeah, anyway, this game is pretty... Oh god. This game has pretty environments and boobs. Wait, no. Well, I guess it's just that, huh? Well, the combat system is also nice and dynamic. The combat system is really something that Terra got right. So I guess that involves players a whole lot more rather than other MMOs who just force you to press a button and nuke an entire area. Terra is currently out on free-to-play, so check it out. It's also out on Steam. You could check it out there too. Tencent Games and Triad Wars bring you Archeage. It was released back in 2013, but just went to an international Steam launch in 2015, with Archeage 2.0 just released last September 12. This franchise shows no signs of slowing down. What's so unique about Archeage is that it's a sandbox MMO game that allows players to choose what to do and is not entirely bound to a linear questline. It's got dungeons, sure, and a few instant locations, a wide world, and the thing that I would like to call the casual sandbox mode, and that's, in my opinion, what really makes the game shine. It lets you build and farm and take care of goats and rewards you experience for it. You don't have to fight to be able to level cap. There are more ways to get more powerful. The world of Archeage is just so dynamic and awe-inspiring. And best of all, it's free to play. This game is definitely worth checking out. Come and get it. Now this is definitely a no-brainer. Of course Wildstar is gonna be in this list. This cute, funny, cartoony MMORPG brought to you by NCSoft is an adventure you definitely should not miss. Developer Carbine Studios has put together a game that is definitely worth the time you put into it. The whole game is infused with fun characters and a fun story. Like all the other games featured in this list, the fun here is in the exploration and combat. Sure, it's got the standard quests that are all too familiar for MMO players, but what sets this apart is a good story and the level of humor and satire present in the game definitely set a different tone here in this MMORPG. Wildstar is simply a child in the MMORPG world, building a lot on the ones that came before it, while adding its own personality and flair to the set of games we can all play. Wildstar is definitely an awesome addition to your collection, and best of all, it's free to play. Before we check out our number 1 MMORPG for 2015, let's check out some of the honorable mentions. And of course, is this still a surprise? Alod's team is bringing us the gods with a hint of sci-fi here with Skyforge. This game is just unique, and it has a very unique story and a plot and additional elements that just make this game a game of its own. Here you try to become a god and try to get as much followers as you can. The grind in this game is strong, sure, but it's hardly noticeable due to the storyline quests and rewards that ease the grind. It's a true free-to-play game in the sense that if you're smart with spending the rewards and items you see in the game, you could play through all of Skyforge with hardly spending a dime. The game has gone through a lot of updates since we've shown it here in Game Review HQ, with a bunch of rebalancing, new areas, new events, new classes, and a whole lot of new maps to explore, so make sure to check out Skyforge right now. So to top it all off, here's the final list of games we've shown here. Do you agree with this list? Did we miss a game that you like? Sound off in the comment section below. Once again, this has been Chad for Game Review HQ. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, see you in the next video. Goodbye.